Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I'm here at Fruit Haven. It's raining kind of hard right now, so I've kind of taken a break from working outside. Good opportunity to talk about a couple things. I would say that probably the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes people make when they get their fruit forest land and they start planting it, and most people don't know what they're doing at first, or they've read a lot of articles about permaculture online and they think they know what they're doing. So the biggest mistake is planting too many fruit trees and not enough companion plants. People just go crazy planting tons of fruit trees everywhere. Next thing you know, the fruit trees aren't doing too well and they have no topsoil left. Companion plants serve a lot of purposes. Companion plants can include nitrogen-fixing leguminous bushes, shrubs, and trees like ice cream bean, flamingia, leucaena, and it can also include ground cover plants. And really a number of other things. I'm going to talk about palms being used as a companion plant in a couple minutes. So what is the proper amount of, the proper ratio of companion or chop and drop plants or whatever to fruit trees? Nobody can say for certain. We can talk about it though. A lot of people will say 50%. You want to have 50% companion plants and 50% fruit trees, or 50% of your land devoted to companion plants along with the fruit trees. Some people will say 2/3, more like 66%. I would say, and I know a lot of people do not want to admit this, in the wet tropics, 66% is probably more likely the correct number. And by correct, I mean you're actually going to get the best results by using that ratio. You go too low, like I said, you have tons and tons of fruit trees, but where's all your mulch coming from? If you use alley cropping, where you have rows of leguminous shrubs alongside your rows of smaller fruit trees or your rows of grafted fruit trees, it's very densely planted and you get tons and tons and tons of mulch. And alley cropping is usually about 50%, a 50% ratio. So if you include some other plants in there, then you can get to 66%. Let's take a look over here where I'm, sorry about that, little camera confusion, where I'm separating some Chantapalm seeds from Chantapalm shells, or I mean, Chantapalm fruits actually. I don't really eat this fruit. I have in the past, but it's not an ideal fruit for raw vegan fruitarians because, well, you have to cook it to eat it. It's very starchy. It'll kill your mouth. The starch actually cuts you, the fibers. So it has to be cooked. So then again, why am I going to all this trouble to get the seeds from it? Because I think it's a great companion plant. There's a few uses. It doesn't fix nitrogen. We don't chop and drop it. There's other uses though. Number one, the most important reason, fruit trees benefit from fungal growth. Palm leaves falling and the roots of palm trees and just palm trees in general provide fungal growth, or rather they encourage fungal growth in the soil. Of course you need a lot of other things to get fungal growth, but palms can help. And palms are easy to plant. Look at the palms out here, out in front of the house. There's some really tall palm trees. There's Ashanta palms also. Those don't. One of the things about palms is they're tall and skinny. They don't take up a lot of sunlight. So if you have a field of papayas and you have your nitrogen-fixing rows of ice cream bean, every 2 rows of papayas, it's pretty easy every 5 meters along that row of ice cream beans, of tightly spaced ice cream beans of 50 centimeters or so, you can plant one palm tree. It's super easy. And then you have a constantly falling flow of palm leaves to add fungal growth to the soil, and the fruit trees will really like it. Now, papayas aren't actually trees, but you can use that for any example where you're growing actual fruit trees. Papaya is just an herbaceous plant. Another good thing about palms is you can use some palms, like these ones, like chantas, you can use the wood when they get really mature. The wood is good for construction and it grows way faster than hardwood trees, so it's more sustainable. Another thing is the heart of palm, which we call here palmito. It's a very delicious raw vegetable. So you can plant tons of them down your rows of chop and drop plants, or just interplant them everywhere. They're not going to take up a lot of sunlight, and you might wonder why I just don't plant coconuts. Well, Shanta palms are native to this area. They grow really well, really fast, really easily. Coconuts do better in a coastal, dry climate. We do have some planted here, but it's not something that I'm going to plant hundreds of, because it's just way easier to plant lots of Shanta, and we still get all those benefits from it. There's a few others like jelly palm, and there's a lot of different types of palm trees. Just choose whatever grows best in your area if you're going to use it for interplanting. Your palms for a food crop are another thing. You can kind of combine the features. Alright, that's all I'm going to talk about. So remember, number one mistake, or potentially number one mistake, planting too many fruit trees, not paying enough attention to companion plants, vetiver grass, leguminous shrubs, vines, planting a vanilla vine up your cacao trees, all kinds of different companion plants you can think about. You'll do much better. I've definitely made that mistake in the past. If you get a chance, look for this is actually, I don't know if this is on there as one of the reasons, I don't think it is, but one of the agrodocs, if you search agrodoc with a K at the end, is the 9 common mistakes of growing fruit trees in the tropics. You'll see a lot of similar blunders that people make when they first get their forest land. They just go crazy planting fruit trees everywhere. They think they know what they're doing, and then 4 years later, you start to finally begin to know what you're doing.